Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's class, we're going to go over a few hip stretches that you can add to your hip routine. You can add this to your frog pose practice. Now, without further ado, let's get started. You can use a block or a blanket at your discretion, or if you don't need them, then you don't have to use them. To start, we're going to do a little free play for the first few breaths. If you want to do a few cat-cows, do so. You can do a few body rolls or even stay in child's pose if that is where you're at right now. Taking a few breaths where you are, breathing in, breathing out. Take another breath in. And on your next exhale, come to a comfortable seat with your legs crossed. We will start in an easy pose with legs crossed. Take a few breaths in here. You can fall forward if your flexibility allows it. Breathing in, breathing out. Take a deep breath in, feeling the sensation of the hips, and release it all out. If you were falling forward, you can rise up now and switch whatever leg you had at the front. Now folding forward again in your easy pose, take a few breaths here with the opposite leg in front of you. Easing into this fairly gentle hip stretch. Just relaxing here. Releasing any tension that you may be feeling. Now we're going to transition into a cow face pose. We're going to start in staff pose with your legs extended. Then bend your knee. You can bend your left knee and put your feet on the floor. Slide your left foot under the right knee to the outside of the right hip, then cross your right leg over the left, essentially stacking the right knee on the top of the left and bring the right foot to the outside of the right hip. Sit evenly on your sitting bones. Take a few breaths here. Today we won't go in the full expression of this pose. We're just going to be where we are right now. We're going to sit in this pose and just feel the stretch in this moment. Take a few breaths here. Just really getting into the hips. Now you can switch your legs so the opposite leg is crossed and stacked. Feeling this amazing stretch in your hips. If you would like to focus on the stretch, feel free to pause the video and stay here. If not, uncross the legs. We're going to come into a variation of a frog pose and butterfly pose, but you'll be on your stomach. This has been my go-to stretch to work out my hips, and it's a really great stretch for frog pose. Lie on your belly, bending your knees, and bring the soles of your feet together. Don't worry if your legs don't touch the ground. This is a really intense stretch. Be where you are gradually, and with time, your legs will go down. You may also add a block under your feet. Now bring your forehead to your hands. Take a deep breath in. Exhale it out. Take another deep breath in. And on your next inhale, straighten the legs. Pick your chest off the mat, drawing your shoulders back, engaging the legs. We're going into a Sphinx pose just to release the lower back for a moment. Take a few breaths here. We're going to come into a supported half frog pose next. It will be a bit of a restorative pose lying on your stomach. Draw your left leg up, the side of the mat. If you have a bolster, you can also use that to make it even more restorative. Relax and just breathe. Now you can switch sides. Bring your left leg up the side of the mat. Take a breath here. Inhale, exhale. On your next inhale, bring your palms down on the mat. Bend your knees and prop yourself up onto a tabletop. Sink back into your child's pose. Feel free to stay here, or if you wanted to remain in your supported frog pose, do so. This is your practice, your progression into gaining flexibility for your hips. So wherever you are, be proud of that. If you are ready to test out frog pose, come out of child's pose onto your hands and knees. Slowly begin to widen the knees. Hips can shift as needed as the inner groin begins to stretch and release. Make sure your hips are in line with your knees, resting on the elbows. You shouldn't feel any pain. If you do, you're not quite ready for this pose. If the stretch is all right for you, take a few breaths here, sinking your hips with every exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. Bring your knees in together. Slowly sink into a narrow knee child's pose. Take a moment for yourself. You can also stay here in your narrow knee child's pose for as long as you want to, or continue to work on your frog pose. Thank you so much for participating. Thank you for watching. With continued practice and patience, you will see